Dumbo Yoshi review. Ya vale. Growing up in the US, I watched a lot of Disney movies. And of course, most of the Disney movies came out in their original cartoon form. But recently, Disney has been releasing all of these movies where they take the original story of the cartoon form and they transition it. They make a new version that uses real life characters, people. We already saw this with the Beauty and the Beast. That one was pretty nice. And later this year, we will also see it with the Lion King. A lot of you guys are always saying that Myanmar movies are copying other people, other countries. Well, I mean, the Americans are no exception. Most of the Disney movies are based on stories from very old books. And now we see these people take these old stories that they have already told and remake them into these real life movies, but it's still the same story. However, I was very pleased with this movie. I was very happy to see this movie. What's interesting about Dumbo is that it has a lot of themes, a lot of conflicts that go beyond the simple story, has a lot of deep messages about society and about what it is to grow up. A lot of us feel strange and awkward when we grow up. When we go to school, we feel that we don't fit anywhere. We sometimes think that we're different, that we are special in a way that is not really good. We just feel that we don't fit in. And this is what happens to Dumbo. Dumbo is an elephant that has ears that are far too big. A lot of us go to school and the other kids make fun of us because we have something that is just different, a little bit strange. Some of us, our nose is too big. Some of us, our ears are too big. Or maybe we're too tall. Or our skin color. Or our hair, or we're too ugly, or something, right? We all have that something that other people criticize. But Dumbo tells us that what we think is something bad about us can be something great and wonderful about us. So the story is taking Dumbo's huge ears, which look like a defect, and turning it into something magical because he can actually fly with his ears. So we go from physical defect to a magical, amazing ability. Something similar happens to a lot of girls that, for example, maybe when they're little, that's a really bad example, but some girls, for example, maybe when they're little, their breasts are too big and they feel ashamed of it. And then later when they grow up, they get very popular with all the boys. So you see how you can go from being criticized to being loved and praised. Another theme is employment and work. You see how the business of the circus gets acquired by another more wealthy businessman. And from that moment on, we see how Dumbo and all of his friends, they feel restricted. They feel like they have lost freedom. At the beginning, they're very happy because they see the fancy place that they're going into, the place called Dreamland. But later in the movie, we see how the Dreamland, this amazing place, is actually a horrible place. Not because of how it looks, because everything looks nice, but because their new boss, the new leader, is a very cruel person. And this tells us that in real life, we may be tempted to look for jobs in very fancy companies with very beautiful offices. But later in life, we realize that our freedom and feeling good with the people that we love is more valuable, more important than what looks fancy and expensive and nice at the beginning. And of course, the main theme, I believe, is family and happiness. Dumbo has the ability to fly, and because of that, he can be on the show, he can be in the circus, he can be popular and famous with a lot of people that want to see him fly. In the same way that a lot of us are trying to be more popular in our school, in our jobs, maybe even on the internet. But the reality is that being popular or being famous is not something that is gonna make you happy long term. What matters most is the relationships that we have with the people that we love, and especially our family. Dumbo is never really completely happy by just being on the show, by just being a famous performer in a circus. Dumbo is only happy when he is with his mother, where he feels happy, safe, true, and authentic. This is a very old story with a new remake. There's nothing really new in this movie, but again, the shots and everything else is very nice. I did not talk about the cinematography, but the movie looks beautiful, It's just, these Disney people in the US, they have a lot of money, and the movie looks beautiful. There's no doubt about it. For being a children's movie, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Shit. No, shit. Just de mare, tata.